Can I unpack some of the dynamic in Atlantean times to what's playing out now?
Absolutely.
Is it because what I've been honing in on is not the left versus right issue. It seems more like top versus bottom, like a hoarding from elites and getting caught up in beliefs of
Mhm.
how things should run and turn into crazy town. And then there's also seems to be organized groups working together to bring about a prophesized end time. As of late, that's what seems to be playing out, but I'm open to hearing anything different.
There can be multiple playing outs of the timelines, and whatever will play out for that particular consciousness, and it will appear as if it is just reality. And all these chasms and all, let's say, evil is simply the accumulation of intense trauma and blindness without the awareness of a higher source. It's not, in a way, their fault because their dynamic, their whole entire experience is blinded to all of this. So, how can you blame someone that is blind?
Hmm.
How can you blame and not to deny the unconsciousness whatsoever? These groups and conscious things to form are so beautiful, and it will play out in that timeline. And, you know, what's coming through is saying an end date. There really is no end. There could be some prophetic things that are weaving through all of it, but those prophecies are coming into the consciousness of who's hearing them and perceiving them. And to go and judge another timeline is not the best use of energy. So whatever we're putting our attention into is going to grow and is going to expand within the consciousness of the energy that it's in. It's very human of us to want to feel anger and a sense of revenge. And there's a precision in boundaries. There's a precision in what we want to believe in. And it's a very individual process to gather opinions and to hold strong to those and be in the company of those that share the same points of view, and to be cautious of what to complain about and what to resist. That it's fine. There's no judgment. It's just this vision of seeing how individually powerful our consciousness is and how individually susceptible we can be without a very strong and deep cord and connection to these higher frequencies. Whatever this Atlantean energy is coming through is almost a parallel timeline. There's research that could be done too of
Can
looking into Atlantean rise and fall and seeing what parts resonate. But almost, let's say you could splat it out into a map and print the Earth's evolution on a map and lay it on the ground, and then the Atlantean map, lay it on top of it, there would be quite a few similarities in those timelines. What's interesting seeing it now is crumpling both those maps into a ball, having them blend together, and creating a new timeline that's possible.
That's what I'm trying to hone in on here. It's deeply unsettling. It doesn't resonate with me to
Mhm.
ignore the injustices. I'm very aware that I don't want to be sitting in despair, but there feels like a deep calling to be active in it, but also find a way to incorporate beauty and channeling the rage in a way that feels actually useful.
It's having the courage to be able to stand, having one side in the fire and the other side in the water, one side in the heat and one side in the cool, and to have the courage to feel all of that, and then having the insight to know how to cool the rage, how to cool it to a point where it's productive. That is a huge, it's a warrior, it's a guardian, it's a warrior's task to be conscious of all of the destruction and the sorrow. Coming back now to the earth where I was really in this very feminine, very divine,
Right.
soft space. And now these questions coming back, I'm going into the dark side of the yang, noticing that and being aware of it, but also being able to dance with the yin in a conscious way. Indeed, it's not ignoring, it's not being blind. It's hard to incorporate the dark and the light at the same time. We're in a place where consciousness is polarized, and that's just being in a physical body. And to be able to dance in the dark and dance with that and almost be taken by it, because it's not really dark. It's that yang, it's that
Mhm.
forceful, dark, destructive Shiva. And then there's that yin, which is just the essence of the softness in the water. And what do they become when it's all seen? And that's an embodiment.
Yeah, thank you. Because this is
Embodiment.
where I feel like I am, and this feels like a calling, but then I get messaging back that seems to
Mm.
say detachment, detachment, it's better. And I'm left confused.
Yes. It's an initiation or a process of embodying something where you have the capacity to embody the depths, the hardest, the densest thing. And then also the capacity of the freeness, the freeness, the freeness, the lightest with no weight. A star when it dies. It's like a teaspoon, but it weighs 1,000 tons. And then going the other way, relating to each and still being able to stay regulated in the body.
Mhm.
And that's lifetimes. And I guess maybe I can go back because I'm getting pulled now back kind of into the earthy, wise womb and to see what I can get from that space, some kind of a message.
Thank you.
So, this is a great message. When you're feeling afraid or you're feeling a sense of vengeance or ragey, this shouldn't be this way. How dare these people? They're so fucking stupid. And there's truth in that. Don't deny your own truth of that. But that's the time to nourish and to weave in, not to deny it, but to welcome in like a womb space, to welcome in your own womb space where you can feel safe, to welcome in going into that softness, that being held. Like before the session, when we started the session and I was guided to leave my body here with Leah, what happened was just in my vision, I became an infant and the infant was just resting there with Leah like a baby that she's nourishing this little baby self of Rebecca, that her little body is there being safe and contained. And then coming in through this journey, that's the space that when we're feeling activated and afraid or uncomfortable or unregulated, that it's okay to invite into that the sense of being held, the sense of being nurtured as if you were being with a parent, a loving parent. Then you get to have a fit, you get to have a tantrum, but you get to be witnessed by this wonderful loving parent that just listens and goes, oh, that's so great, I'm so grateful how aware you are. This is amazing. Even though it could look like a complete tantrum. Does that make sense?
No, yeah, I really do appreciate this.
But that it's like this boat, going to this place with this mermaid mom and reporting back from planet Earth and going, Mermaid Mama, it's a shit show there. And she knows it's a fucking shit show and this is terrible. And there's all these crazy people and they're blind and they're completely in this mind fuck, this trance of unconscious bullshit. And Mama Mermaid's like, yes, darling, come here when you need to share and shed those tears because those tears are medicine because that's squeeze, like squeezing out that transmutation. The tears are the water. The tears are part of that ocean. And tears from anger, whatever that is medicine to grow, but to not drown in those tears. And that can be the tendency shown on the media, things that are available to engage our attention in. And we need to have tools to begin to bathe in our tears and not drown in them. And to allow to witness others in that pain and support them in their journey to bathe in the tears, to bathe in them, and to share our tears together and bathe in that. Ultimately, it becomes a game of shifting, remembering. Now you get to step into that role. And the litmus test of it is, how am I feeling in this role?
Thank you.
Am I feeling empowered? Am I feeling strong? Am I getting feedback? Because that's a big one. That's a huge one for whatever it is. We're all getting feedback 24/7. But to see what your intention is of sharing all this and what kind of feedback are you getting, and to know how to discern the feedback.
Yeah, well, can we touch on that?
Absolutely.
How does one discern the feedback? Because isn't there some element at times of not listening to the feedback and going with what you truly feel inside? So going against the grain.
Hmm.
There's obviously some discernment, and if you're not listening to feedback you're getting from people, I'm gonna guess there might be some, you know what I mean? Like you're not.
Sure. And discerning where that feedback is coming from, what environment to be tuned into. If you were to look at the feedback as a sandwich or something to eat, literally, okay, here's this feedback. I'm going to take a bite out of it like a sandwich. How does that make you feel when you take a bite out of it? Do you want to digest it or do you want to throw it up?